Alright. Hi class. So welcome back. This is our second part of our social studies lesson that we've been going over this week about Mexican art and culture. So I know we already read in our history books or social studies books about Mexican culture, but now we're going to dive into the art half of Mexican art and culture. So first I have a little video that I want to show you. And all this is going to do is go into depth of some of the art that involves, or some of the Mexican art that is involved in their culture. And it goes into detail just a little bit about the origins of some of the art pieces. So I'm going to stop it about halfway through since there's only some parts that are relevant. So when I stop it...
Art is a term used to refer to various forms of traditional handicrafts and decorative arts that originate from the country of Mexico, especially from the Mexican Caribbean. What is Mexican folk art? The term encompasses various crafts and art forms such as hooples, piñatas, pottery designs, and altars for everything from saints to gods and goddesses. It is also often used more broadly to include other forms of artistic expression found in Mexico or made by Mexicans outside their homeland. In addition, it encompasses the process of creating works that are traditionally made to replicate the culture and traditions of earlier times. The roots of Mexican folk art can be traced back to the Aztec Indians. The indigenous people created fine pottery, beautiful inlaid decorative jewelry, and finely woven textiles that the conquistadors and European settlers highly prized. The Andalusian Moorish influence on Mexican art can be seen in paintings as well as decorative metalwork. In addition to Spanish influence, there is also an influence from African and other groups that live in Mexico. These influences are most clearly seen in folk music such as mariachi and norteñ music. If you have enjoyed the video so far, we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. Let's know if you want more videos like this by hitting the like button. Now back to the video. Characteristics of Mexican folk art. There are a few main distinguishing characteristics of Mexican folk art. Bright colors. Mexico's folk art is famous for its use of bright, vivid colors. The skilled craftspeople employ a rainbow of hues in their work. Complicated patterns. Many examples of Mexican folk art show patterns that are both detailed and intricate. Cultural significance. Mexican folk art is significant culturally because it typically represents the values and beliefs of its creators. The religious, the historical, and the ritualistic are all frequently represented in art. Handmade. The majority of traditional Mexican folk art is created by hand, with craftsmen employing age-old methods. Ethnic variation. The style, themes, and techniques used in a particular piece of Mexican folk art can be used to pinpoint its regional origin.
That was the little video that I wanted to show you. And notice how it started going into the details of what vocab or what elements go into Mexican folk art or art. So they're vibrant colors. So vibrant means a lively, energetic display of colors that embody vigor and vitality. So that means life and beauty. So lots of colors, bright colors like blues, purples, pinks, lots of bright colors. So another thing that it said was pattern. So a pattern is a design which lines, shapes, forms, and colors are repeated. So if you paid close attention, there were some elements or some art pieces that you could see there's different patterns in. When we get to our next step of this project, you'll see what I mean by pattern and vibrant colors. So a thing that will be going into this project is shape, line, and design. So a shape is an element of art that is two-dimensional, flat, or limited height or width. So it's just like your basic shapes of squares, rectangles, triangles, square, or stars, things like that, just shapes that you can draw. So a line is just a line, which I hope most of you know by now, since you all are in 4th grade. But the last thing is design. So there's a lot of intricate design. So intricate means very detailed. So very small little details in the design. So what a design is to create, fashion, and execute according to plan. So you create this design in your head and you're able to draw it out. The design on, let's say, the front of a notebook, you may have swirls and stars. That is a design. Okay, so then the last thing is culture. I know we've already gone over this, but culture is the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. So what we will be doing is Mexican art geckos. So there is a little video that I want to show you as well. I'm going to skip here and there parts of it. So as you can see, they've already made, so the art geckos are ceramic, and she is someone that paints and sells them. So what she's doing is putting her base layer down. Then I'm gonna fast forward it. And now she is going in with her intricate design on the geckos itself. So she's taking her time, making sure every little detail is there. She uses vibrant colors and she uses inspiration from nature to do so. Notice the flowers that are on here. Still creating, and I'll fast forward to the very end to where you will see the finished product. And there are the vibrant art geckos that we will be creating. Alright, so let me go over the quick little history or the origin of the gecko. So it is a traditional piece of Mexican art that is ceramic, and most ceramics are made in the Mexican culture are categorized as talavera, which are names to describe handcrafted, hand-painted ceramics from Mexico that are from normally the Puebla, or I'm not sure how to say this, region, and they are painted with bright, vibrant colors with detailed patterns. Alright, so here are some examples from or of the ceramic geckos. But what we're going to do, we're not going to be making ceramic geckos, we are just going to be drawing our geckos. So ours is just going to be flat on a piece of paper, and then you get to come up with whatever design, intricate design that you want for it. So here are some examples of different designs that you could possibly do on your gecko. I'll sit here and wait for a second so you can look at them. Alright. Alright. So, our step one is I'm going to give you all the materials, or you're going to gather all the materials that you need, which are sketch paper, printing paper, watercolor paint, brushes, and markers. So the first actual step is you're going to sketch lightly out on a scrap piece of paper on your printer paper your rough draft of the outline of your lizard and then the designs inside. So it should look something like the picture on the screen. Okay, so our next step is sketching out the gecko on high quality paper, and I have already done that. So this is my little sketch of my outline of my gecko. So now the next part is to take your watercolors and paint the base part of your gecko, so your gecko, a color. So I will switch over my camera to where you can see me painting some of my gecko. I'm going to pause, fast forward a little bit until I'm almost completely done, and then I will continue with the next step. Okay, so I have officially painted the outline of my gecko. So now, moving on to the final steps. Step 5 is creating the design using bright colors on here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to sketch out your designs, and then you're going to go over them with colorful markers. So I'm going to do that really quick, and I will show you part of the process. So all we're doing is we're lightly sketching out our design with pencil on top of our watercolored lizard. You can very lightly see my detail lines here. So finally I got done painting and sketching out, doing all the designs. Try to get this as close as possible so you can see it up close. So, with that being said, our last and final step for you will be, since this is to do with social studies, we will be doing a little bit of research, not very much. So all you're going to do is get on your computer, find one interesting fact about Mexican art or culture, or both, whichever, and you're going to write it on the very back of your project. So with that is our rubric and how you score points on this. So there's 5 categories: painting skill and drawing skill, design and competition, color choices, use of materials, and time and effort. So in order for you to get the highest grade possible, which is it's out of 20 points, your entire project is, so you will need to show that you know how to stay inside the lines. Your painting skill and drawing skills, you're not just scribbling everywhere, you're not just throwing paint everywhere, it's in the lines on your design, and that's basically how you get your 4 points for that. It's not very hard. I expect you all to be able to do this. I expect you all to be able to get 20 out of 20 on this, unless you just don't try. But for the next one, design and composition, it's just basically doing what I ask. It shows that you understand what the project is. You're drawing your intricate designs on it, and you're drawing the shape of a lizard and not, let's say, a shark. So you understand what I'm asking you to do. Your color choices, just make sure they're bright, colorful, and you don't mix colors together that make this muddy brown. You have colors like these. You can see the colors popping up off of the lizard itself. So just use bright colors, use colors that complement each other. The next two are the 2 big ones for me, is the use of the materials. Do not, under any circumstance, abuse the materials that you're given, such as your paintbrushes. Don't sit there and mess with the bristles. Don't destroy your paints or paintbrushes. Don't dig your paintbrush into the paints. That's not what it's there for. Don't go around chasing your classmates with your paintbrush or markers or anything. Do what you're supposed to do. Just use materials how they're supposed to be used, and we won't have a problem. And the last one is your time and effort. Put effort into this. Make sure it looks nice. Don't just rush through it and be done in 20 minutes while it takes everyone else an hour to do this. It took me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to do this little project. So just take your time, make sure it looks nice and neat, and put in effort. Make sure your project looks like you put effort into it. And that is basically how you will get all your points. That's the rubric explained, and I hope that you enjoy doing this project as much as I did. So thank you, and have a wonderful day.